2, 1, 0. Cliff.
Okay. It is better to close your mouth and be thought a fool than to open it and remove all doubt. I'd like to qualify this quote. It is true that sometimes it's better to shut up. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. Because offending someone is the worst thing you could ever do. But on an intellectual level, an academic one, I highly, highly do not agree with this quote. It's better to, in my opinion, to say something completely stupid, and if it's creative, than to suppress it and not say it at all. The first example that pops into my head is my little brother. Not the 3-year-old who sleeps on the garage. I have another brother who is a year and a half younger than me and programs iPhone apps. And the first iPhone app he programmed was this game that to many people seems stupid, and many people laugh at this game. It's, you take the iPod and there's this little cube hidden in one spot of the iPod, and you press all over the iPod and you try to get the cube. This game is pretty rudimentary, it's not very intelligent, but he made it, and that was the first iPhone app he made. And because it was so simple, it was easy for him to make. It was a very, some people call it stupid idea, but it was an idea, and he took it all the way through and he made the app. Today, he's made 15 other apps that are all doing very well in the store. And the thing is, if he hadn't made iHide in the beginning, that idea that you told me about that most people would not have spoken about because it's a pretty rudimentary idea, if he hadn't spoken about that idea and if he hadn't carried it out, he would have never have been where he is today. As a result, it's better to open your mouth and speak what you're thinking than to close it. Because even if it's something that ends up being foolish, it can help you. And sometimes it won't progress. Sometimes you'll just throw it in the trash can immediately, and you won't think about it again. But sometimes it might be an idea that to you seems stupid, but to someone else it seems very clever. Another great example of this is a nuclear physicist called Chadwick. Now, when chemists and physicists were trying to figure out what the atom is made of and where electrons fit into the atomic structure, Chadwick came up with an idea. Now, his idea was very, very weird and eccentric. He put it like this. Take a box and put a cat in the box and put some TNT in the box. And there's a 50% chance that the TNT would explode, and there's a 50% chance that it won't explode. So now it's either exploded or not, which means the cat is either dead or not dead. So by opening the box, you are the one that's making the decision to check if the cat is dead or not dead, and in that way you're actually killing the cat. That's what Chadwick said, and he applied this to the electrons in the atom. Now even I don't really understand it, because it's pretty eccentric, and most people don't understand it either. When he initially gave this example at a conference, he was literally laughed out of the room. People thought he was a complete fool. After that, 2 physicists that heard this idea in the conference developed it more and more and more, and it's one of the bases to our structure of the atom today. Now this idea, which to anyone would seem the idea of a fool, and which removed all shadow of a doubt for some people that Cedric was an idiot, turned out to be a very, very great and very, very creative idea that brought on a huge breakthrough in science for us. So sometimes, when your idea is creative, it's better to speak about it. It's better to put yourself out there and say what you think, because you never know what's going to end up, and if you don't apply yourself, you'll never succeed. As a result, when we look at this quote, it is better to close your mouth and be thought a fool than to open it and remove all doubt. We got to take it with a grain of salt. Sometimes it is better to be quiet. You want to make sure you don't offend anyone. But don't reserve your speech and not say what you're thinking just because you're afraid of being judged. Because your ideas can be great. And if you're creative, and if you share your ideas, and if you follow them through, no matter how ridiculous they seem in the beginning, you will succeed. Because speaking about your ideas, even if they're foolish, can get you places. Thank you.
Okay. So let me ask a question here that will take us, we have 1 minute left, so please listen everybody. So it's Schrodinger's cat.
Yeah.
And why did you say Shrek, or whatever?
Okay, well,
And the reason I'm asking is if you misname something and the judges know the right name and you're going with a different name, do they care? Does it matter in terms of, oh, well, you're not even getting the name right?
no, they generally don't. I mean, if the judge knows that it's the wrong name, then it's kind of a bad point.